resources, capital, or it can be human, or it can be the material, and he'll try to compose all these into one fine element and deliver these elements to the market. Okay, so I mean, when we look into our olden days, maybe entrepreneurship is not termed as a best factor. Why? Because a lot of risk is involved in the entrepreneurship. Not every entrepreneur is a successful person in the market. There are huge risks involved, like you can lose your money, you can lose your reputation. Okay, and moreover, you might not be having trustworthy human resources with you, who are jumping jacks, who might be with you at one moment and move to some other organization on a later date. So there are so many risks involved, and never you can be sure that you're going to be in the market for a longer period. Okay, so you're there today, you're there tomorrow. What about day after tomorrow? You're not sure. Your existence is not sure, because you rely on the market, you rely on the customers. If the customers are satisfied, yeah, definitely you're going to continue in the market. Not only the customers, there are other factors. What are other factors? It can be the legal factors, it can be the political factors, it can be the competition, it can be the laws of the government, it can be the subsidies what the entrepreneur is getting. So all these factors will definitely make the business a very risky term. Okay, so I mean, people will think twice. Okay, let me do business or let me do a job where, okay, I'm more secured, I'm going to get my returns, I'm going to get my salary at the end of the month, and I don't have to put extra effort, that extra step I don't have to take to gain the profits or to gain the resources. Okay, so in that way, where we can see that now the entrepreneurs are I mean, trying to try new efforts, new factors, new innovations, study the new market and win the laurels. So that is the kind of attitude what we are observing in the current trend in the market. Okay, now what does entrepreneurship results? It results into creation of organizations where entrepreneurs assemble, coordinate the physical, human, and financial resources, and they all direct them towards the achievement of the organizational objectives. Okay, and these objectives can be attained only through a perfect managerial skills. I mean, until and unless you manage them effectively, you cannot achieve success, you cannot achieve the results, you cannot achieve the aims or goals. Okay, so you have ample resources, you have ample resources in the sense it can be the monetary, it can be the human, or it can be the material, whatever it is. You have so much of resources with you, but without proper guidance, without a proper plan, you are trying to put everything into use. All the factors will be going in different directions. Ultimately, you cannot achieve anything. So entrepreneurship is nothing but it results in the creation of the organizations where they have the best resources, like it can be the human, it can be the physical, it can be the financial, and they all put them together to achieve the overall I mean, the purpose for which the organization has been established. And this can be attained only with proper guidance and proper managerial efforts. Okay, so entrepreneurship helps in making a wide variety of goods and services. Okay, it can be the goods which are usually purchased by high income group, or it can be the middle income group, or it can be the lower income group. When we study a country, whenever we are talking about a country, generally the population is divided into three criteria based on the income levels, that is the higher income, the middle income, and the lower income, or the upper class, the middle income group, and the lower class. So as an entrepreneur, you need to decide to whom you're going to cater. If suppose he is planning to only meet the requirements of the upper income group, now the upper income group comprises of maybe hardly 10% or 20% of the entire population. Whereas the middle and the lower income consists of 90% or 80% of the population. So you need to, as an entrepreneur, design a plan like to whom I'm going to cater, whether it is the top level whom I'm going to satisfy, or I'm going to suffice my needs or requirements to the middle and the lower income groups. Okay. So the luxury cars, the luxury mobile phones, that is the high-end mobile phones or the high-end computers, whatever you're manufacturing, it is only for the 10% of the market who are really wanting such kind of innovations. Okay. So as an entrepreneur, you need to decide, you need to think that where your efforts of entrepreneurship should be focusing and what would be the key results of that particular outcome. And entrepreneurship involves creation. Yes, because entrepreneurship requires your innovative thoughts, ideas, okay? And then the kind of presentation. I mean, see, there are 10 people in the market who are selling similar kind of products. It can be a mobile phone, or it can be a gadget, or it can be, say, fruits or chocolates or whatever it is. So if you go to, I mean, the local bakeries or somewhere, instead of selling one chocolate, they try to put their creativity. They try to assort. They try to put 5 different kinds of chocolates in a small basket, decorate it, put a ribbon, put some kind of a remembrance, a memory, love, wishes, or something, and then make the product look different in the market. So the rest of the chocolates may be 50 and this pack is only 60. In a way, the innovative idea will try to lure the customers. Okay, it's looking attractive. Rather than giving one single chocolate as a gift, let me give the small basket of 60 rupees. So in a way, an entrepreneur will try to bring out his creative skills, his ideologies, his ideas, and the way the output should look. Okay, and to make the output look like that, what kind of managerial decisions or skills he require. Okay, and these all factors will try to push an entrepreneur into the market. So the moment the entrepreneur is accepted, the sales are increasing, and when the sales are increasing, naturally the profits will also be increasing. When profits are increasing, you try to increase your taxes. When the taxes are increased, automatically the overall growth and development of the country can be attained. It's a circle. It's a vicious circle. Maybe you create more industries, you set up more industries, and when you're setting up more industries, you need so much of land. You venture to new places. When you're venturing to the new places, what happens? You try to develop that place because you have started in your own organization, and you need good transport, you need good financial facilities like banks, you need people who are taking the risk, you need the warehousing, the storage facilities. Okay, so that in a way you are trying to develop the entire place wherever your organization is being set up. And in a way, you're also motivating and promoting the concept of employment, because whenever you're setting up new industries at new places, you try to provide the the employment opportunities. When you're providing the employment, automatically the standard of living will be increased. When the standard of living is increasing, the overall development of the country is in a prosperity. So entrepreneurship is a simple term when I say, but that will lead to so many corresponding interlinked activities which are going to be promoted simultaneously. And in a way, you find that the growth of the economy. Okay. And then coming to the concept of entrepreneur. Now, the concept of entrepreneur, in simple, I have to say, an entrepreneur is an individual who creates new business, and he takes the risk, he brings the money, and he will invest the money, and he also will take the rewards for the investment. It can be a reward, or it can be a vice versa problem where he might also get the losses. It might not always be rewards or profits. Okay. And generally, an innovator is considered as an entrepreneur, because every entrepreneur will come with new ideas, new goods, new services, new business procedures, new adaptation. Okay, so an entrepreneur is someone who exercises initiative by organizing a venture and to take benefit of an opportunity. So generally they try to venture into the market and try to take the benefit or the opportunity and prosper. And when we see the definitions, the present definition is given by the economist Joseph Schumpeter, and he has given the definition as: entrepreneurs are not necessarily motivated by profit, but regard it as a standard for measuring achievement of success. Okay, so it's not that they're just motivated to earn profit. An entrepreneur can never always expect a profit and enter or venture into the market. He need to always see the other side of the coin, where you have the road not very smooth, you have so many hurdles, you have so many problems, you have so many difficulties. So as an entrepreneur, you need to overcome all these and try to finish the line before your competitors are doing, with making profits. Coming to the next definition, entrepreneur is one who always searches for change, responds to it, exploits as an opportunity. Okay, so in a way, entrepreneur always tries for changes. I mean, what kind of changes he is observing? He wants to bring, not observing, he wants to bring. For example, when we are talking about the communication. So earlier, what kind of communication did we have? I mean, people used to write letters, people used to send messengers. And when we are talking about the earlier period where birds were used as messengers, who used to take messages from one place to another place. And then slowly we had maybe postal department where you post the letters, and then we had the telephones, and through telephones you could communicate with the other person. And then slowly the development into pages, where you can just page wherever the person is there, just you can send a message asking him to call back, or asking the whereabouts. And then we had the cell phones. So the cell phones, when we are talking, initially we had the button phones, the small phones, and now you see the innovation where we have the slim phones. Okay, and the technology is, I mean, mind-blowing technology, I have to say, where you can fold the phone, even if the phone is dipped in the water, still the phone will be functioning. And the sleekness of the phone, how slim the phone is, even you can just insert the phone from one place to another place through a door. You don't have to open the door, you can just slide the phone from under the door, isn't it? So such kind of innovations, from where are these innovations coming? Because of the entrepreneurs. Okay, so each and every entrepreneur enter the market with a condition that he is going to give something different to the customers. He's going to change whatever is available in the market with a new technique, with a new spear, with a new technology, with a new color, and with a new adaptation, with a new feature, whatever it is. That is what the entrepreneurs are doing now. And moreover, when we are talking about the entrepreneurs, a true entrepreneur is one who is endowed with more than average capacities in the risk of organizing and coordinating various factors of production. So I'm saying that an entrepreneur enters the market with a zeal to show something different, to give something different to the consumers. Along with that, he is carrying the risk of organizing. He has to coordinate the various activities. He has to coordinate the factors of production, and then finally manufacture a good or a service and give that good to the consumer. And once the consumer has consumed the product, if the feedback is positive, very happy, yeah, the entrepreneur is successful. Otherwise, he's nowhere seen in the market. When we are talking about the evolution, The word entrepreneur is derived from the French word entrepreneur, which means to undertake. You need to undertake. Originally, it was meant to designate an organizer of musical or other entertainment. So originally, this term was used to designate a person, an organizer of a musical orchestra or some other entertainment. Okay. And then slowly, in the beginning of the 18th century, the word was used to refer to the economic aspects. So economic aspects relating to the money, relating to the people, relating to the production, relating to the economy. Okay, so when we are talking about the evolution, the following are the concepts which are considered to be important in the 4 centuries. The first one being the entrepreneur as a risk bearer. So an entrepreneur is always a risk bearer. There is no bed of roses. He has chosen a path, and the path has so many puddles, so much of downturns. The word is all wavy and cavey. There's no, a smooth road where he can just enter and say that, yeah, I'm successful in the market. Okay. He's a risk bearer. He has to bear the risk. Bear the risk for the production, bear the risk for the capital investment, bear the risk for the losses. So he is a person who has to keep himself ready as an agent of the production, whatever may be the result, whether it is a positive or a negative result, he need to accept, he need to bow before the results, whatever are incurred because of the decision of the entrepreneurship or entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is also an organizer. Now, what do you mean by an organizer? An organizer is a person, one who organizes, the simple definition. But what kind of organization we are talking about? When I'm saying organization, I'm talking about the coordination, the coordinates. Okay. So how is the coordination happening between the various factors of inputs? Now, what do you mean by an input? An input is something which is put into the production and which results in an output, some kind of output. So what is the input I'm talking about? It can be the capital, money investment. It can be the materials, the product, the raw materials which is put into use. It can be the people, the efforts of the people who are working for 8 hours or 9 hours a day and completing the job tasks. So all these things he has to coordinate. And if it's not coordinating these efforts, the results will not be appropriate or accurate. Okay?
Voice not coming, madam, clearly.
Voice is not coming, sir.
Yes.
Is it now okay, sir?
No.
No. Okay, just a second.
When McCoy is coming, I think you are. If you join through 2 devices, it will problem will come.
No, I didn't join with 2 devices. Now is it okay?
Okay, now.
Now okay, madam.
Yeah, I was using my headset so that the voice would be more clear. So maybe that's not clear. Okay, I removed my headset. So I'll be dealing with the computer audio now, right? Okay. Now coming to the entrepreneur as an organizer. Now, as I said, he needs to organize, he needs to coordinate the various factors of production, like it can be the capital, or it can be the human, it can be the material, or it can be the raw material or the inputs, whatever he's putting to use. Okay. And for all these inputs, he needs to pay. Like, for example, capital, he needs to pay the interest. If suppose he's taking land, for that he needs to pay rent. If he is taking human resources, employing people, he needs to pay wages or salaries. So many things, like how many people should I take and what would be my cutoff? Whether if I'm employing 10 people, am I able to produce? Or if I'm able to take 20 people, am I able to produce and reach the target? And if the capital investment is higher, the interest burden is higher. So am I going to get back my returns as planned? So he needs to organize the things in such a way that he has to take a call. He needs to manage things, like where he has to cut down, whether it is capital, whether it is men, whether it is rent, or or any other factor of input. And coming to the innovator, yeah, right from the beginning, I was telling about the innovative factors. An entrepreneur always plays a crucial role of innovation. See, if suppose we are talking about, say, two-wheelers, okay, scooters, I'm talking about scooters. If you are not different from the rest of the scooters which are available in the market, why would a customer buy? For example, my two-wheeler has two wheels. I mean, it has the accelerator and I mean, the brake system, whatnot, everything is routine. Okay, similarly, the other scooters which are available in the market, even they are not different. They are giving the same set of features to the customer. So why would a customer prefer your product? So how different you are. That is what called as innovation. You need to be innovative, showcase that you are different from the rest of the lot who are there in the market, and how different you are. If you are able to prove to the customer that you are definitely different, that will lead to the success of the product. For example, when I'm talking about the scooters only, like, I mean, I think there are few scooters who have come up with the charging points. I mean, you can charge your phone. There's a phone holder. And I mean, a lot of space is there in the storage capacity. So these are all the innovative things what you're giving to the customer. A phone with a charger, it's really great, isn't it? You just drive the scooter, and in the meantime, you can also charge your phone. That will really help you to, I mean, utilize your phone for a longer period. So that is an innovation which says that your scooter is different from the rest of the scooters available in the market. Okay, so it can be the introduction of new product, or it can be the new method, or it can be a new market, or it can be a new industry or new organization. Anyways, that comes all under the innovation. Now coming to the importance and role of entrepreneur. So entrepreneurs are frequently thought of national assets. So I mean, they have to be cultivated, motivated, and remunerated to the greatest possible extent. Why? Because if an entrepreneur is successful, he ventures into new creations, new contributions, new factors, which will try to generate employment and ultimately can focus on the growth of the economy. Okay, so the following are the ways where we can discuss the role of entrepreneurs, where we can say that they are indispensable in any society. I mean, you cannot imagine a society without entrepreneurs. So they are the spur economic growth. Okay, so why do we call them as a key factor for the economic growth? What are they contributing? They're contributing new products, new services, and whenever they're contributing to new products and services, you're not stopping there. With the new innovation, someone else will take it forward. Okay, so as I said about the two-wheelers, somebody has, I mean, started with a factory where he started manufacturing two-wheelers. Now to that two-wheeler, I'm going to attach some accessories. I'm going to attach some new features, and then say that it is a new product in the market. So entrepreneurs' process does not end at one phase. The moment you are starting, you grow, you stop at somewhere, that will be continued by another entrepreneur. So in this way, you have the evolution of the new businesses, okay, new sectors, new ventures, and in a way, you are trying to create more employment opportunities. And to provide more employment opportunities, you increase the size of the organization, wherein you take loans. So you need banking and financial services. So in a way, you're developing the banking sector. And once you're taking the finances and you are producing the products on large scale basis, then you need to distribute these goods to different parts of the country or maybe countries, I have to say, if it is a global phenomenon. For that, you need good transportation facilities. So you're boosting the transportation industry or the transport industry. And then unless they are sold, to the period they are sold in the market, the time period, the time frame, you need to store the goods. So you're going for the warehousing, the storage houses with huge or large capacity. Again, you're creating a necessity for that. So in a way, if an entrepreneur is growing, along with him, there are so many other sectors which are equally grown. Okay. And then apart from that, we have the services which are required. So what are the services we are talking about? So for example, earlier days when you go to a kirana shop or a small supermarket, what do? The moment we are buying the products, we take our basket to them over the counter. They just check, they write the bill, and they try to total it with the calculator. And finally, they ask us to pay, say, 100 or 200 or 500 or whatever it is. So now if you see, they are using the technology, isn't it? The barcode. The moment your basket is filled, you have to just take to the bill counter. They're going to scan it. They'll not write, they'll not enter, they'll just scan it. The price is entered in a system. Automatically, a bill is given to you where you can pay the cash or you can pay by your card. Okay, so we are using the technology, information technology to the fullest core. And in a way, the entrepreneurship is also developing the IT sector, the infrastructure, and whatnot. Everywhere, wherever you are talking about, it is with an innovation. Okay. Now, in continuation, entrepreneurship also adds to the national income. How? Because with new and improved products and services or technology, we are trying to develop new markets. When we are developing new markets, new wealth is developed. When new wealth is developed, you have to pay the taxes to the government. When your taxes are being paid, the government is getting revenue. When the government is getting the revenue, automatically they will try to put this revenue into the growth of the economy. So in a way, the entire national income and the per capita income is increasing, and the overall image of the country is speared as developed country. And we also have the creators of the employment. Entrepreneurs are also the creators of employment. So how do we say they are the creators? As I said in the earlier aspect, where whenever they are surging to growth, whenever they are surging to the development, so the growing and development will lead to setting up of more number of industries. When more and new number of industries are set up, automatically you, apart from the machinery, you need people to focus and manufacture. So whenever you are hiring people, it can be the white collar or blue collar, you are generating employment. So with this employment opportunities, what is really happening? They earn the salaries, and when they are earning the salaries, their standard of living will be increasing. When their standard of living is increasing, the savings are more. When the savings are more, the investments will be more. When investments are more, automatically the overall growth of the company can be high. Okay, so in a way, it is a vicious circle. Whenever we are talking about any marketing activity, one activity will definitely lead to the other, and the other activity will definitely focus on the growth of the economy. So as a creators of employment, as a creators of innovators, new ideas, new systems, new techniques, all these will be utilized by the entrepreneurs in developing their product, in developing their system. So in a way, they are generating, they are creating more employment to the people. And we have the entrepreneurs, they satisfy human wants. Now, how do they satisfy the human wants? Whenever we are talking about the entrepreneurs, they simply don't stop at one point. They look at other competitors who are there in the market, check their products, what they are giving, and based on that, you try to continue in the market. A simple example of ice creams. Now, when I say an ice cream, I mean, when I was a child, we had ice creams for 5 paise and 10 paise also. Okay, so they are the milk ice creams which are available for 10 paise, and the ice gola. What do we say? The ice gola now in the market, the ice golas with different colors, they are for 5 paise. And then slowly we had different flavors. I mean, I think it can be the quality or any other local ice cream, which was giving different varieties like strawberry or mango or vanilla or butterscotch. So the routine flavors were available. And then came the dollops. Now the dollops is an ice cream. What do I say? It is a chocolate ice cream. Okay, it is through Cadbury's. And I mean, whenever you have an ice cream, it has the flavor of the chocolate. So different varieties of chocolate which were put into the ice cream and made it different. Okay, you can check, you can design your own ice cream because there are so many cartons available. I mean, you can just say that which kind of combination of ice cream you want. So, I mean, the success was maybe for a few years, I have to say. Then later on, so many other ice cream makers entered into the market. So you have the, we can say the BR, Baskin Robbins, which is, which adds fruits and flavors to the ice cream. And then we have the stone ice cream, where the visibility of the ice cream is just like stones, but the moment you are taking, it turns into the cream. Okay, and then you have the ice creams which are, cut, severed, and then a different kind of taste and flavors are added to that, and that kind of ice creams are being provided. So all these are nothing but to satisfy a human desire or a want. Each one of us have different flavors, different wants, different needs. I mean, the flavor what I like, you might not like the same flavor, but as a marketer, he needs to give what I want as well as what you want. So this kind of justification can be done only by a clever entrepreneur, where he gives the kind of flavors which are required by me or wanted by me, in the same way what are required by the other party also. So as an entrepreneur, he needs to satisfy the human wants, and only by satisfying the human wants, his existence is dependent in the market. Entrepreneurs promote science and technology. Okay, how do they promote science and technology? So just now I said the R&D, the research and development, artificial intelligence, the barcodes, the scanners, all these are nothing but by the technology or the usage of the technology or the usage of R&D. So for example, you enter Zudio or some other showroom. Okay, you choose the products and the billing counter, you have such a huge queue, so you just want to flip it. I mean, a person wants to just flip the product, put it in his bag because it is very small, and he wants to just rush out of the store, taking the advantage of the crowd at the store. The moment you are there at the entrance, before you cross, there is a beep. Okay, the beep says that the person is carrying something. Why? Because there's some kind of attachment, okay, a kind of attachment which is done to the purchases, every purchase. Unless you pay the bill, the tag will not be removed. If the tag is not removed, the beep sound will go at the entrance. So you're using the artificial intelligence, the technology, where all the time round the clock you cannot be at different places. So what do? You use the technology and have a control. Okay, so these people, they promote science and technology, new variations, new factors, new innovations. In a way, you try to utilize the technology in toto and try to benefit in the saleability of the product or in the market. And then you have the community development. Now, what do you mean by community development? Entrepreneurs regularly nurture ventures by their own effort, but with an initiative with other like-minded individuals. So they try to invest in the community projects. They try to provide the financial support to the local charities, or they enable for the further development beyond their ventures. For example, some of the entrepreneurs can be the Bill Gates or Tata, Azim Premji or Mukesh Ambani. You have Narayana Murthy, GVK Reddy. So there are so many people who are generating huge money from the society by selling the products, by manufacturing the products. So whenever it comes to the return, so with the aim of doing some betterment to the society. Now the ideology is we are taking from the society. Okay, it can be the land, or it can be the trees, or it can be the air, or it can be the water. So many things we are using from the society. Now it is my turn. Once I start earning the profits, it is my turn to return the profits to them. So it's not that you try to identify each and every consumer in the market, give him 100 rupees or 200 rupees and say that, see, I'm returning the money. No, it's not like that. You have a corporate social responsibility towards the society. Okay, and now it is a very big phenomenon in the world where more or majority of the companies are into the scheme of corporate social responsibility. Okay, so either they take up the schools, or either they take up educational institutions, they take up the municipal parks, the public parks, or it can be the signboards, or it can be the traffic signals, anything. For example, when we are talking about the Hyderabad Zoo. So in Hyderabad Zoo, each and every animal, like, in a way, they are trying to feed these animals by adopting them. Like the lions are adopted by one company, the tigers are adopted by another company, the leopards, whatever it is, whatever animals are there. And I mean, there is no limitation. You can fund any amount and adopt an animal for one day, maybe for one meal, or maybe for 1 month, or maybe for 1 year. So in a way, the corporate houses are taking the responsibility towards the society by taking care of these animals in a zoo, by taking adoption of these animals. Similarly, if you observe the municipal parks, few of the municipal parks have been taken care by the big corporates. I mean, whether it can be the nurturing, or either it can be the gardening work, or either it can be the maintenance work, or maybe the traffic signals, the signboards, anything, or having a mineral water plant at hospitals, or it can be at educational institutions or orphanages, or the cancer hospitals or something of that sort. So all this is nothing but you are returning. You have earned huge from that. You are giving a percentage back to the society. In the sense, you feel as an entrepreneur that you're not the sole person who's going to eat away all the profits. There are n number of people who have been a part of your growth and development. As it is difficult to identify each and every person and return them back, in general, if you're doing to the society, the benefit will definitely reach to the people by and large, and to the persons who have done something to the organization. Now it's a legal obligation. Most of the companies, they are legally prone to do such kind of activities to benefit the society. Now coming to the functions of entrepreneur. So as per Palmer, the risk measurement and risk taking is one of the major functions of an entrepreneur. So if I want to start a business, I just can't start a business, isn't it? I need to understand what kind of business I'm going to do. I need to understand the pros and cons. That is, if I'm successful, what is my growth rate? If I'm a failure, what are my losses? So the risk for the loss, who will take? Only the entrepreneur will take the risk for losses. Okay. It's not that simply, I want to start a business. All of a sudden, out of the blue moon, I wake up today in the morning, I woke up in the morning and I think that, okay, let me start a business and do the business. No, it's not like that. You need to pave way. You need to do a lot of analysis. You need to do a lot of background work before you try to establish a concern or an organization. And moreover, it should be innovative. It should be a discovery. Okay. And it should be something unique. Okay. Which is not generally produced or manufactured by other people. It is not another brand what already is available in the market. We say, new wine in an old bottle. So, I mean, when there is nothing new, the product will not be successful in the market. You need to give something different. You need to be creative. You need to identify how different you are by giving a different product to the customer. So in a way, the more and more you're giving different products to the customer, the more and more the customers will be added to your basket. And moreover, when you're innovating, it can need not be always a new idea, a new product, because I mean, every time you can't get a wonderful new idea because majority of the products are already there in the market. So it can be an extension, it can be a combiner, it can be a common means where you can just provide an extension to the existing product and giving the comfort or the leisure to the customer, stating that it is a new product. So such kind of innovations can be done by the entrepreneur. Altogether new product, totally different, which is not existing in the market. Maybe it is difficult because, as I said, majority of the products are already there in the market. Now, whatever new products we are saying, those are on only the extensions or additions to the existing product. You might have seen the mobile phones advertisements, right? New Samsung or new Nokia, or altogether new, or the versions we say 13th version, 15th version, 18th version. So in the 18th version, not even a single version of the first to 17 versions are there. No, it's not like that. So the 18th version is superior to the 17th one. 17th one was superior to the 16th one. So in a way, the innovation is only an extension what is already there, what is already being utilized in the market. Now coming to the next is the analyze the opportunities and strategies for the ventures. So as an entrepreneur, you have to analyze the various opportunities. You have to analyze the environmental factors. You need to think about the planning, a short-term plan or a medium plan or a long-term plan. And if you are an entrepreneur, never assume in the first year profits, windfall profits. You might not get windfall profits. Maybe the first year you might have a break even, no profit, no loss, or it might be you might have incurred loss or just a minimum amount of profit. And slowly, as and when the period is increasing, you might make profits. So here you need to identify, you need to analyze the opportunities and the strategies to achieve your game plan. And then finally, you have to develop a business plan. Now, what do you mean by a business plan? So here, whatever the efforts which are directed towards the ideologies, now you start them to the visualization. You start visualizing the establishment, you start visualizing the enterprises, you start visualizing how your company is going to look with what kind of mission or vision statements. Okay, the information that one gathers is only the projections, the feasibilities, the viabilities. Can I manufacture like this? Can I make the product like this? Can the look of the product will be like this? So you try to understand the various pros and cons in the product, in the manufacturing, in the, the final output. So you start visualizing. Finally, the product is not out, but you tend to close your eyes and visualize, or put your dream on a paper. Make it look like that. For example, you might have seen the ventures, right? The 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom or the villas. They try to give us a very good planning, which state that the outcome would be like this. Okay, so that is the visualization what you make. In a business plan, you try to understand whether the project is viable or not. And then you have the acquisition of resources. So for every venture, you need different types of accessories, or it can be the acquisitions, or it can be the material, it can be the kind of nuts or bolts, whatever you use in your manufacturing process. So whatever they are, you need to acquire them, because the resources, whatever come with specifications, customized specifications, are not that easy to be available in the market. When I'm saying customize, only I like it, so though they are available only in few places. They are not available everywhere, but they are available only in few places. So you need to identify, you need to, organize the things in such a way that you acquire the right kind of accessories or the equipment for the production of the products. Now you have your plan ready with you. Now you have your people ready with you. You have your material ready with you. Now you need to organize, coordinate all these activities and start the venture. So who is going to take care of what? Will be pre-designed, pre-decided, and based on that, each and every person is allotted with a set of duty, a responsibility, and based on that, you try to organize the things and see that you are using the resources optimally. Optimally means very effectively. So, for example, you hire 10 people for the work. On that particular day, you have work only for 8 people. The rest of the 2 people, you're not making them utilize, you're not utilizing them, you're not giving any work to them, but still you're making the payment to those 2 employees. So in a way, that is a burden to the organization. So you need to organize the venture properly so that you don't deviate yourself with too much of the resources and more payment. So too much of resources than the requirement, and then making the payment at a higher rate. And then you have the entrepreneurial decisions. So who will take the entrepreneurial decisions? Generally, the perception of new opportunities or threats is development of new products, product diversification or expansion, or research and development. So whenever a new product is there in the market, it can be either through product innovations, through research and development, or it can be the diversification or expansion where the product is diversified, and then finally you try to produce something. So you started cooking rice. In the meantime, you don't know what to do, so you just switch to some other product. So through rice, you make different varieties of fans or toys. That is a business idea. So you have understood the raw material, you have understood the raw material content, and now finally you start manufacturing by taking those ideas into consideration. Now coming to the next is financial capital generation. Now, as I said, finance is the most important aspect, and you need to be very careful whenever you're deciding about the finances. If you're investing excess finance, you end up paying huge amount of interest. If you are, under investing, then definitely your organization or your concern will die due to lack of capital. Proper investment, timely investment is lacking. Hence, the organization will have a unseen die or death. Okay. And the diverse activities which are interrelated. So you need to be very careful while taking the different kinds of decisions in the entrepreneurship. So you need not, you have to focus, you should not divert. So the more you are diverting, your focus is lost. And when your focus is lost, ultimately the product is also lost in the market. So you need to have a very good game plan, financial balance, innovation, new technique, also the help from the market to visualize and generate the product as specified in the game plan. Now coming to the classification of entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs are classified into different types based on different classifications. Now, the first one being the Dunhaf's classification, and it is based on the basis of adaptability. Now, on the basis of his study of the American agriculture, he classified entrepreneurs in the manner that at the initial stage of economic development, entrepreneurs have less initiative, they have less drive, and as economic development proceeds, they become more innovating, more enthusiastic. So, I mean, in the initial phase, you observe that the entrepreneurs will not have more initiation towards the venture. But as time passes, they start liking this, they start having some kind of bonding with the venture, start innovating, and then try to get the results in short time or in less time. Like we have innovating entrepreneurs. So they are the people who actually introduce new goods, new methods of production. They try to discover new markets and reorganize the enterprise and see that they are accepting new challenges, new techniques, and finally you try to achieve the success by overcoming those challenges. So I think here the example what is given is OYO, own your own room, or own your own. What does it mean? So it is a kind of a strategy where the person, that is the budgeted hotels, will be providing bed and breakfast. So along with the lodging, you also have the breakfast, and you can pay the tariff as per your own room requirements. Okay, based on the rooms, you try to fix up the tariff and then make the payment. So initially the system or the scheme was not understood by many, but when Mr. Agarwal has started the OYO rooms, only with 12 rooms in Gurgaon Hotel, it was a success. He has seen a tremendous success in this ideology, and now this has moved across to 65,000 rooms in 5,500 properties across 170 cities in India. So a small change, a small innovation about the hotel room accommodation has brought a new variety, new kind of scheme where you can plan your own budgeted room and stay there for the number of days, the stipulated number of days, and as well gain from such stay. So this is what is called as innovating entrepreneurs. And then you have imitative entrepreneurs. Now you see most of them who are there in the market are imitating entrepreneurs. So, I mean, they try to study the market, observe the trend in the market, and wherever there is success, they try to adopt themselves into successful innovations and derive profits. So here, these entrepreneurs, they're found in the places where there is lack of resources, or there's no industrial base, or I mean, you don't find more number of innovations from time to time, one innovation in 1 year or 2 years. In such places, what does these people do? They just try to enter the market, study the new innovations from other places, just try to incorporate those innovations and then benefit the market. Okay, so if you see the example given here, Walton has introduced motorbikes, refrigerators, televisions, and other electronic appliances in Bangladesh. And he being not an original innovator. So he just copied those ideas, not exactly copying, he just, I mean, observed the trend in the market. Wherever the success is there, he has just taken that and then he has implemented the change. So in a way, he has just identified the successful innovations which are there in the market, tried to put them into use, and he has gained profits with such kind of innovations in the market, which are already existing. And then you have Fabian entrepreneurs. Now, Fabian entrepreneurs are very great caution. You can see they are skeptical in experiencing in any change. So they do not initiate any inventions, but follow only after
they see the success after they are fully satisfied and they see the success rate. Based on that, they try to incorporate. So, I mean, there's a lot of time gap. They keep waiting because unless they are satisfied with the success, they are not going to implement such change. So the profits, what they are going to get is purely based upon the time gap, what they are waiting, and the best lot, what they are selecting. And then you have the drone entrepreneurs. Now, these entrepreneurs are reluctant to change because they are very conservative. They are there in the market for a very, very, very long time. And yeah, organizations are going and there is stability. So why to change? We are happy with whatever we are giving. Customers are also happy. I'm happy producing the same old one. Even the consumers are happy taking the same old one. So why should I innovate and face losses? Okay, so that can be the kind of attitude of these drone entrepreneurs. And then you have the classification based on socio-cultural factors. So you have immigrant entrepreneur. So as the name itself says, immigrant entrepreneur is a person who immigrates from a different place. He'll be moving from one place to another place, find a suitable place and try to settle down. Like this is what happened in the pre-production era, where people were just, I mean, they used to never settle. They used to move from one place to another place, see a good location and then stay for some days, 10 days, 15 days, and then again move further, move to a different place. So in the similar manner, the immigrant entrepreneur might not be moving from one place to another place, but he's an immigrant to a different country. He comes from a different place, settles in a different place, tries to understand and study the market requirements in the new place, try to implement those requirements by giving the products to the consumers, gain success and stay in the market for a longer period. So here, there's a person called Jan Kam, and he settled in California. He's a Ukrainian, and he settled in California. And he, after dropping out of Stanford State University, working at Yahoo, and he failed to be hired by Facebook. What did Kam do? Eventually, he partnered with other programmers, and in the year 2009, he founded WhatsApp. So WhatsApp is altogether a new program or a new feature in mobile phones, where you don't have to, I mean, you can share pictures, you can share Word documents, you can share the content, voice, images, whatnot, everything you can share in a pick of a time. I mean, it doesn't take more time, isn't it? The moment you want to share a document, just click it, put it in the WhatsApp, that will go to the concerned person. So in a way, he is an immigrant entrepreneur. Then we have the ethnic entrepreneur. Who is an ethnic entrepreneur? He has a set of connections and regular patterns of interaction among people sharing common national background or migration experiences. So they are the people who have their, what do I say, their foundation, their roots are with them. Though they are migrants, they are in a different place, but their roots they are going to consider, and whatever ideologies they have, which they carry through generations, will be put into use and will be continued as an entrepreneur. Okay, so where we can see the I mean, the Marwar or Rajasthan, or you can say the prominent entrepreneurs like Birla, Singhaniyas, all these people, if you see, they follow the same kind of ethnic entrepreneurship. And then we have the minority entrepreneur. As the minority in the name itself says, these are very small in number. I mean, they are the people who are not part of the majority of the population. Okay, so they form a small minor group, and they do their innovations only in that particular small group. So they are minority. They don't, they don't have the zeal to participate in the larger segment, the majority segment. Whatever they are doing in the minor part, they are happy with that and they're going to continue with that. And then we have the woman entrepreneur. Now the government is also helping, not only the current government, even the earlier period also the governments, they were helping the women entrepreneurs in promoting their skill and the products. So generally the khadi and the gram udyog products are, I have to say, the products of the women entrepreneurs who try to produce the products. It can be ghee, it can be honey, it can be clothing, or it can be, shoes or footwear or something. So it can be the tablecloth. There are n number of products which are manufactured under this particular scale. And the next classification is motivational classification. So based on this classification, you have first generation entrepreneur. Now the first generation entrepreneurs are those people who don't have any basic business background. Okay, none of their family members are into the business, and they are the people who venture into the business out of attraction or out of proving themselves something different, or out of their own motivational factors or whatever it is. So these are called as the first generation entrepreneurs because there is none in the family who are into the business field. So here we have self-actualizer entrepreneur. Now, self-actualizer entrepreneurs are the people who actually started their businesses driven by some kind of achievement, driven by the thirst of some kind of achievement, and they also have the sense of independence and autonomy. Okay, so they don't have any family background, they don't have any business house, but still they try to follow the establishment with the family legacy or family, the family feeling of continuing the business. And then we have the discontented entrepreneur. Now, what do you mean by a discontented entrepreneur? A person who was working with some other firm in the earlier period. If he's not satisfied with the work ethics or work culture in that organization, he might come out and start a new entrepreneurship or a setup with his own ideologies. So if I'm joining somewhere, I'm working somewhere, I don't like the place of work. So what do? I just come out, start a similar organization and try to prove myself with the different ideologies, what I did not like in the earlier firm. So the Taj Hotels example, Ajit Kerkar is one of the best example quoted here, where he is the person who is not satisfied with the the work atmosphere or the the performance standards of Taj, where according to him should be something different. And as an employee, he is supposed to follow the rules and conditions which are laid down by the proprietors. So he was discontent. He came out, he set up the Tulip Star Hotels, and he managed his own properties with his own ideologies. And then you have family business entrepreneur. Now, family business entrepreneurs are the people who follow the family business from generations to generations. Like we have Aditya Birla, we have Ambani's, okay, and we have Kumara Mangalam Birla, all these people. So they have the family legacy who are continuing their businesses which have been established by their forefathers. And then we have family business entrepreneur. Family business entrepreneurs are the followers of the family tradition. They are the role models. So the same examples it is on the basis of the kind of business. It can be the industrial, it can be the textiles, it can be agriculture, it can be trading, corporate, or the other category can be the utilization of technology, technical entrepreneurs and non-technical entrepreneurs. Or it can be based on the level of motivation. It can be pure entrepreneurs, induced entrepreneurs, or spontaneous entrepreneurs. And on the basis of profession, you have professional entrepreneurs, forced entrepreneurs, individual entrepreneurs. Based on the entrepreneurial experience, you have novice entrepreneurs, habitual entrepreneurs, or you have serial entrepreneurs or portfolio entrepreneurs. And based on the capital ownership, it can be the private, it can be the public, or it can be a joint ownership also, joint ownership entrepreneurship. It can be based on the gender and age, man, woman, young, old, senior, middle-aged entrepreneurs also. On the basis of areas, we have urban and rural entrepreneurs. On the basis of scale, it can be a large scale, it can be a medium scale, it can be a small scale, or it can be a tiny industry also. And the technical experience, it can be a product, or it can be a risk research, or it can be a user or opportunist. And the other categories can be the solo operators, the active partners, inventors, buyers, lifetimers, social entrepreneurs, event entrepreneurs, the knowledge entrepreneurs, so on and so forth. So these are the so many categories of entrepreneurs. Based on this, we find so many people being as entrepreneurs in the market and catering to the needs of different set of population in the market. Yeah, any doubts do you have?
No, ma'am.
Yeah, so I would be continuing with the next.
Okay.
Now coming to the entrepreneur and entrepreneurship. So what is the difference? What is the relationship between entrepreneur and entrepreneurship? An entrepreneur is the one who undertakes. He is the person who actually starts a new business venture, or it can be a new establishment, and he tries to take the risk. He tries to take the burden, he organizes everything, he coordinates everything, and he will start working on all these aspects. Whereas entrepreneurship is the practice of starting new organizations, particularly new businesses, in response to the identified opportunities. So an entrepreneur is a person, whereas entrepreneurship is, it is the practice of starting new organizations. And generally, when I'm saying an entrepreneur, he's a founder. He comes with an initiation, he comes with an innovative idea, whereas entrepreneurship ranges from scale. I mean, it can be a solo project, it can be a major undertaking, it can be a job opportunity, it can be a technical opportunity. You just take up that, finish up that, and wind up. And the person who starts the firm is generally called as an entrepreneur. And the process in which an entrepreneur starts and operates the business is called entrepreneurship. So who starts is entrepreneur, and the process is called as entrepreneurship. So the entrepreneur is a coordinator, and he coordinates the three elements of the production, that is the land, labor, and capital. And entrepreneurship is the coordination maintained by the entrepreneur. So, I mean, he tries to coordinate the same things, but on a larger organized manner. And the person who innovates is called an entrepreneur. The innovation of something new or the process of innovation itself is called as an entrepreneurship. And who is a leader? An entrepreneur is a leader. He has the leadership skills. He will motivate, he will push, he will try to organize, he will try to decorate the things and then achieve success. Whereas entrepreneur leads the manpower, motivates them towards the goal achievement, which is the process itself is called as an entrepreneurship. And who bears the risk? Who bears the loss? The entrepreneur bears the loss. Okay. And the risk-bearing practice done by the entrepreneur is called as entrepreneurship. So there's not much difference between entrepreneur and entrepreneurship. Entrepreneur is the person, and the process of doing is, that is, the process is called as the entrepreneurship. So if you can see, person, process, organizer, organization, is an innovator, innovation, risk bearer, risk bearing. So in that way, it is done by the single process, but when it becomes a process, a process is nothing but one leads to another. The moment it is a process, it is called as entrepreneurship. Now, the concept of intrapreneur. Now, what is intrapreneur? Intrapreneur is an employee who is tasked with developing an innovative idea or project within a company. So, an entrepreneur is an employee. He's a worker. He's a person who works for a salary. Okay. And what is his major task? His major task is in developing new ideas, innovative ideas, and venturing into the new projects within a company. And however, the entrepreneur has the access to the resources. What all resources are there in the company, he has the access to them, and he has the capabilities of an established company. However, when we see the companies establish research and development centers, and it's just like an incubator. They incubate the business ideas. Okay, so in a way, they nurture the different varieties of new ideas, innovative ideas, and then they try to see that they are time bound, they have freedom with the risks, or free with difficulties or errors. And then these are given for the business houses at the disposal of taking a decision and implementation. So entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs have different objectives. An entrepreneur envisages creating a new company from the ground up. And an entrepreneur has a broader vision for an establishment of the company. Okay. So when it comes to the visionary aspects, the visionary aspects are different for an entrepreneur and for an entrepreneur. So if you see the characteristics of an entrepreneur, I mean, he giving birth to new businesses within the existing organizations. He paves way towards technological leaderships by way of continual innovation of products and services, attempts to lead rather than follow. So he'll be always trying to be a leader in his domain. And then he has the ability and the attitude of taking the risk and trying to make a kind of decision on that. Okay. And the benefits of entrepreneurship culture. Now you can see the increased profitability, because from the ground, it is the entrepreneur who is trying to make the decisions. He tries to mobilize the resources. He tries to plan in such a way that whatever risks are there, he's willing to take. So in a way, he tries to focus on increased profitability by streaming whatever existing business ideas are there, innovations are there, or business activities are there. So all these are considered by the entrepreneur. And in a way, they are trying to create new revenue, new streams, and they try to attract and retain new employees, creative employees, so that they have more creative ideas. And they also have the wealth creation network. They try to focus on creating more wealth. And in a way, they want to run the organization on healthy grounds with a circle. They don't want to be trapped in debts. They want a healthy and wealthy creation of the organization, where their investments are sufficient for them to make investments and run the organization. And moreover, they also want to have a portfolio diversification rather than being a king in one. They want to be a master in various other companies or other products. So in a way, the entrepreneur want to be an all-rounder by focusing in different criteria. Okay, so but what is the difference between an entrepreneur and entrepreneur? So entrepreneur is the person who sets their own business, whereas entrepreneur refers to an employee, and this employee is in charge of undertaking the various innovations, services, processes. He'll try to, implement so many methodological changes which will try to develop the overall position of the concern. And moreover, the approach is intuitive, whereas the entrepreneur is restorative. So, the ideology is different, the approach is different. You try to predict something and you try to act something on the spot. And the entrepreneur will try to use his own resources. He will procure his own resources, whereas entrepreneur will be using the resources provided by the company. And capital is raised by the company in the case of entrepreneur, whereas entrepreneur will try to raise his own finances and he establishes the enterprise, whereas an entrepreneur will try to run an existing one. And the entrepreneur is always dependent because he is a part of the company. So he is always dependent upon the company, either for the resources or for the finances or for the decision making. Whereas entrepreneur is independent, he is the boss of his business. He is not dependent on anyone. He will take his own decisions, his own criteria, because he raised the money by himself. So whatever the risk or loss or whatever is there, that is borne by the entrepreneur. Okay. And then coming to the, as I said, the decisions and everything, entrepreneur will take his own decisions, whereas entrepreneur is always responsible for the decisions upon his authority. Now, coming to the entrepreneur versus promoter. Now, who is a promoter? A promoter is a person who devises a plan for a business. Okay. So a promoter can also be an entrepreneur. In some cases, a promoter is a person who only designs. Okay. He will take the preliminary steps like identifying the land for the business setup. Okay, taking the permissions, whether an industry can be set up in that land or not. Is it in the residential localities? Are the people accepting, will the people accept that industrial setup in a residential locality? What kind of permissions he has to take from the government, from the municipality, from the R&D, so on and so forth. So all these preliminary steps will be taken care by the promoter. Okay, and once the prospectus has been issued and the subscriptions have started, the permissions and the approvals have started, now the entrepreneur will start the job further. He is the person who actually takes the risk of starting the business, raising the funds, mobilizing the funds, managing, coordinating, putting the things into use, manufacturing the things, and then trying to sell the products in the market. So all these factors will be taken care by the entrepreneur. Now coming to the entrepreneur versus manager. Now who is a manager? A manager is a person who manages. Okay. And in any enterprise, a manager plays a very important role. A manager is the person who manages the affairs of the concern in the organization. So he will try to manage decisions. He will try to manage people. He will try to manage procurements. He is the one who actually coordinates and takes necessary actions as and when he finds the deviations. So when we are talking about the entrepreneur, an entrepreneur is a person who has ideas, who has skills, and who has the courage to start the business and take the risk. Whereas manager will only manage, he will manage the operations. Okay, he will not take the risk. I mean, the risk of loss will never be taken by a manager. He will only manage the things. Okay, so whatever ongoing operations are there, those operations are verified and those operations are stimulated, and he sees that these are streamlined. There is no breakup. I mean, everything is going on smoothly and there is no disturbance in the production. That is what a manager looks at. Whereas the entrepreneur will try to take new risks. He says, why this business? Why are we not venturing into a new business? Why are we not expanding? Why are we not diversifying? Why are we not taking risks? And for all this, what he gets is a reward. Whereas a manager gets the salary because he's an employee of the concern. He gets a salary, and whatever decisions are taken, they are very calculative. If I am taking this route, what would be the result? Is it good or bad? Is it good for the company or bad for the company? Based on that calculations, he will take a decision. Whereas the entrepreneur, he is the owner of the business and he relies more on the profits. Hence, his decisions are generally intuitive. His decisions are spontaneous. He will take a decision which will fetch him the maximum profits. So he's ready to take the risk. And if it is a loss, he's ready to bear the loss also out of his intuition. And what are the driving forces? Generally, the entrepreneur will be creative and innovative, whereas a manager, status quo. That is whatever the boss says, he tries to follow the orders. Okay. And generally, a manager will try to avoid the risk and see that the business is flowing in a smooth manner. Whereas the entrepreneur is always a risk taker. He jumps into the risk and tries to find a proper benefit. Okay. Now, coming to the concept of entrepreneurship, the capacity and willingness to develop, organize, and manage a business venture along with any of its risks in order to make a profit is called as a entrepreneurship. Okay, so you try to organize the things, you're willing to start the business venture, you're trying to take the risk, and the risks are taken with the view to make profits is called as an entrepreneurship. Okay, so the best example can be starting a new business, and that new business is a new baby to the entrepreneur. And what does he do? He will plan the things in such a way that he is definitely going to organize the things in a manner he is going to get the fruits of his hard work, that is the rewards or profits. Entrepreneurship refers to a process of action. Now, action, who is the actor here? Who will be taking the action? The entrepreneur, the person. He will take the action. He undertakes or establishes his enterprise. He is a creative person with innovative ideas. He will try to implement those ideas into the environment. And with that, improvised innovative ideas, he is going to gain profits. And it can be vice versa. He can also incur losses. So, when we are talking about the characteristics, the basic characteristics are, it is a purposeful activity and it comes out of innovation with huge risk. He being an entrepreneur, being a visionary and a leader, and he builds the organization and sees that it is ever dynamic. I mean, there is no static. You can't be static in business. You can't be with the same kind of products in the market for a longer period. You need to be dynamic. You need to be changing. You need to change your preferences. You need to change your acts or activities. You need to change the versions or the kind of look the product looks. So you need to be a visionary, a leader who builds the organization with the dynamic process. And wherever he identifies the gaps in the manufacturing era, he needs to fill those gaps, and he has to take the apt decisions at the right time, mobilizing the resources in a way where he can take the challenges and give the benefits, Be more flexible rather than being rigid. And then you need to manage and organize the things in such a way that you are always ensured with success. Now, coming to the stages in the entrepreneurial process. Now, when we are talking about the stages, this is a model of the entrepreneurial process where we have personal, sociological, organizational. So in this particular model, if you see, a person has the zeal for the achievement. He wants to be an achiever. He wants to take the risk. He is ready to put the personal values. He needs to put the experience and the kind of knowledge what he has gained through education and put it into the production. Okay. And with sociological connections, networks, he needs to build a team where everyone has a role to play. It can be a parent, it can be a family, or it can be an employee. All of them, they work as a family. And he being an entrepreneur, he acts as a leader. He leads the team. He manages the team with commitment. So when you are dealing with this, automatically you will have growth. You will have opportunities. You have creativity. You do have competition, but always competition should be welcomed. If there is no competition, you're not going to change because you feel that, okay, there's no competition. I'm giving the same thing to the customers. The customers are accepting. Why change? So you need to have a healthy competition. You need to have incubators where the innovative ideas can be stored and retrieved. You need to follow the government policy and the time-to-time policies, the laws, the changes in the regulations have to be followed. And at the same time, you need to see the external environment, that is the competitors, the customers, the suppliers, the bankers, the investors, and the resources, the society, the government policies, are all these working together. If everything is in a way where we depend on one thing and try to get something and give something back, the model will tell you that there are, the resources will definitely lead to the environmental sustainability and a positive growth. Now, coming to the characteristics or traits. Now, it is again repetitive. He should be a person who is willing to take the risk. He should be an innovator. He should be a leader. He should be a visionary. He needs to have ethics. He should be passionate about doing the things. And when all these things are combined, you will have a successful entrepreneur. I mean, whenever there is work, you should stop seeing the watch. 24/7, if you're putting your efforts on that, definitely that will lead to success. You need to have ethics. I mean, you don't have to produce a product which is harming the society, harming the consumers. The ethics where you follow that you're giving a good product to the consumer is accepting, and in turn is giving you the profits. Okay. Coming to the successful entrepreneurs' characteristics, entrepreneurs will always take things very seriously and work very seriously. So there is no process of doing the things casual. You cannot be casual. Okay, the moment you are casual, your attitude is casual, your returns will also be very casual. So you need to be very careful. You need to take things very seriously. You need to be very focused and motivated. And they value the customers. I mean, the customer value is primary. Customer is the king of the market. Yes, that is 100% sure. Just like a king who demands for the product, for any new variant in the product. Immediately when a king says that, order that, the product, whether it is available or not, the product, somehow they'll try to make it and give it to the king. So similar way, the customer is also a king. whatever the king demands, the product should be available in the market. And whatever the decisions are taken, those should be taken very carefully with suitable alternatives. Like, okay, if alternative 1 is not suitable, it is not implementable, then let me go to the alternative 2. So you need to have always 2 or 3 plans, plan A, plan B, plan C. And in a way, you need to be ready to face the challenges, whatever are there in the market. And these entrepreneurs, they never fear about the market changes or environmental changes. They're always ready to take the risk, and they are always there to encourage the fellow employees and push them forward at the time of need. And these people, these entrepreneurs, they always learn. They are in the learning sphere. They always learn constantly and consistently. Okay. And they are not worried about the failure in the businesses or the losses or the risk, because they believe that a failure is always a stepping stone for the success. And they exhibit a very great flexibility, and they try to mobilize the resources, change the targets, change the game plan as per the situation which is prevalent in the market. They are very, very flexible. The decisions are taken based on the market scenario. And they also display great skill in projecting themselves. So they want to project themselves as a person or as an entrepreneur who is going to give the best to the consumers. And they work with the help of networking. They have the socializing, they have n number of people together working in a group, and with their networking skills, they can approach from 1 to 2, 2 to 10, 10 to 100, 100 to 1000 in such a way. With their networking skills, they try to get the information, and whatever information is collected, that will help them in taking the right decisions for the growth of their company or organization. Now, coming to the next subheading, social entrepreneurship. Now, what is social entrepreneurship? It is an activity pursued by certain interested persons or social workers and non-government organizations, NGOs, to promote a venture or an entity, and which is concerning the society. So generally, the social entrepreneurship deals with the societal concept. I mean, they take into the consideration the society by and large. They want to do the service. They want to do some kind of promotion, some kind of knowledge sharing, through which they try to help the people who are living in the society. Like, it can be the dowry system, or it can be the marriage alliances, or it can be the present societal problems, the caste system, or whatever it is. Okay, they try to focus on them, and they try to form a group, and they try to see that the problems are solved wherever the problem is generated. Okay, you try to give them the required information. The female, the ratio of the male and female, if you take that, more and more female, the moment you know that you have a female child, people are not willing to going for the process of giving birth. So under such cases, such kind of social organizations or concerns come forward and help them in an understanding, like female feticitis is not good, and they try to encourage and inform the benefits or the pros and cons of such kind of an activity. Or it can be the smoking, or it can be the drug, or it can be the abuse, anything. So these social organizations, they come, they form a group, and they try to disseminate the information. I mean, they try to enlighten the people, telling the benefits, telling the the purpose for the establishment of their society, and what are the things they have to take care, good and bad. Okay, so the 5 reasons why they are cited as an important is, they are the measure for the pursuing the life purpose, that they have then done something. See, we are living not for us, but we are living for others also. We are doing something good to the society. and they are also an instrument in measuring the motivation. They get the happiness in the life by doing something good to the society. Okay, and it is a business model which is accepted widely by the customers because they are not only focusing on making revenue, they are not only focusing on earning profits, but they are also taking care of the society by and large, and the societal needs and the societal requirements. So these are the keywords and these are the model examination questions. Okay. So you want me to stop here or you want me to continue the next unit also?
Stop, madam.
Okay, right. So any doubts you have?
No, madam.
No, ma'am.
Okay. So we'll see tomorrow then with the second unit continuation. Okay then? Right.
Okay, madam.
Hello? Chandan, namaste. Hmm. 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 Okay. 103 చేసినప్పుడా 103 డాక్యుమెంటా 103 అది చేంజ్ చేయాలంటే క్యాన్సిల్ చేసి మళ్ళీ చేయాలి అంతే.